The Missouri Senate's Transportation, Infrastructure, and Public Safety Committee discussed a proposal aiming to address drug overdoses in the state. Senate Bills 314 and 340 established the Narcotics Control Act. The legislation requires the Department of Health and Senior Services to develop a program to track the dispensing of Schedule II through IV controlled substances. Currently, Missouri is the only state in the nation without a prescription drug monitoring program.
We've seen our neighbors go from prescription painkillers to heroin and a life of addiction and destitution. Too often this path leads in death, not in rehabilitation. If Senate Bill 314 can prevent any of these cases from spiraling into addiction, I think it's the right thing to do.
Following the hearing, the committee approved the proposals without any opposition. The legislation now heads to the floor of the Missouri Senate for further consideration.
About 8 out of 10.
Lawmakers gave initial approval to legislation aiming to make more jobs available to Missouri workers. Senate Bill 182, referred to as the Fairness in Public Construction Act, prohibits the state and any municipality from entering into a project labor agreement on a project receiving public assistance. A project labor agreement is a type of collective bargaining agreement where a government entity agrees to only accept a construction bid from a union. However, several lawmakers raised vocal opposition to the legislation. One lawmaker argues the legislation limits the options of local officials.
We're eliminating free market options, that we are overstepping political subdivisions' rights to make decisions for themselves. We are taking away that local control. Two things that have been significantly important to the majority of people who serve in this chamber, and yet we're still going ahead and going forward, and I don't know what the end game is.
The legislation still needs to receive another round of approval before moving to the Missouri House of Representatives for further consideration. Rounding out the week, the Missouri Senate put its stamp of approval on a piece of legislation aiming to protect Missourians' bottom line. Senate Bill 16 makes it illegal to charge sales tax on a delivery charge. Senators approved the proposal by a 32-0 vote. Reporting from the state capitol, I'm Jonathan Lorenz.